I'll never forget looking down at my son and being like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get you to those mountains. Hey there, my friend, I'm Super Sid, the business shaman, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Life Coach Launch School. And in this video, we're going to talk about the process that my wife Tiffany and Toombs and I accidentally followed that helped us get to these 92 acres here in the Smoky Mountains. Let's rock and roll. So let's start from the beginning. Tiffany and I first met going on 6 years ago when this video was actually shot. She had just moved back from Canada. She had lived in Australia for about 8 years and kind of just had to move back to Canada because she had had some traumatic things that had happened in her life. I personally was living in Dallas, Texas, and I just moved there at the time. I'd only been there for a few months when it was that we met. After we met, it didn't take but 6 months of dating long distance before she had moved down to Dallas and we were living together and starting our life. Over those next couple of years, we built our business together. We went out and spoke internationally together, and ultimately we helped thousands of people start their self-healing journey during that time, but it didn't take long, and then we had our first son. And after having our first son, we had decided that it was probably time for us to leave the city and to go to a place that was maybe a little bit safer. You know, the world has kind of went nuts over the past couple of years, right? And in this video, I want to go over with you the specific process that now looking back, we had found that we had followed, even accidentally, that helped us in just a mere few months be able to use the law of attraction and manifest ultimately this 92-acre ranch that we are sitting in right now. Before I go into this story, something that really helps this channel and ultimately helps more people begin their self-healing journey is by simply subscribing to this channel if you like what it is that we're talking about. By subscribing, this is going to help this platform go out there and show this video out to more people, ultimately helping those people begin to start their self-healing journey. So go down there and click that button to subscribe right now. All right, so now we know the backstory. Let's go into kind of the first thing that we did. So I remember, like, you know, at the beginning of this video, I was talking to you about our son Chad, and I was going to change his diaper, and he was only maybe a couple of months old, and I remember he looked up at that mobile of mountains, and he just like, ah, you know, and he like made this crazy sound, and you could tell that he wanted to go to the mountains. The crazy thing is after that happened for the first time, when he was about 2.5 months old, every single time he went to change his diaper, which at the time was like 4 to 6 times a day, he would do that exact same thing. And for us, that was very much a sign that not only did we need to move, but we knew that our intuition of wanting to move to the Smoky Mountains was real, and we decided that we wanted to take action on that. So ultimately, that was the initial thought. We wanted to move out of Dallas, Texas, and we wanted to move to the Smoky Mountains. But as maybe defined as some people might think that was, there was a lot of things that we needed to figure out. So the first thing that we did was we defined exactly what it was that we wanted. And what it was that we defined was we said that we wanted to move out into the country. We lived in the middle of the city, you know, and at Dallas at the time when we moved, which was, you know, less than a year before this video was even, you know, shot, there was millions of people that lived in Dallas. I believe well over 7-8 million people that lived in Dallas, and we lived right in the middle of it all. It was absolute craziness. And one of the things that Tiffany and I really wanted, especially over the last few years of starting our self-healing journey and all that, was we wanted a lot more quiet, we wanted a lot more serene, and we really wanted nature. And we didn't get that in North Texas. So we decided that we wanted to move to the Smoky Mountains because of the natural, you know, the national park that's here, but ultimately because it's really known for its nature, and there's a lot of history here around Native Americans and ultimately around healing. So we looked down and we said, okay, we want to have a property, right, that is going to be a big property because we don't want to be surrounded by a ton of people. I think when I looked out my house in Dallas, we had like over 20 chimneys that I could see just opening my back door. And I wanted to open any one of my doors in my house and not see a single person. And we have that here on these 92 acres. Another thing we wanted is we wanted to have water on the property, and we also wanted to have nature on the property that we could use. That was a very specific thing that we said that we wanted. But ultimately, like, it wasn't like when we created this list, it wasn't like we had defined, like, you know, we had this picture of what this property was in our head. We really didn't know what to expect. I personally hadn't been to the Smoky Mountains in a very long time. I think we had came one time a few years before we moved here for a vacation, but we just went to Gatlinburg. We really didn't come to the place that we're at. So we really didn't even know it existed. I remember, you know, the very beginning of this, just thinking about what this could be, and then now we're sitting here and I'm like, that's really nothing about what I had imagined, but it is exactly what it was supposed to be. And ultimately that, I think, really defining, specifically building a picture of what we wanted, defining the specific things about what it is that we wanted, really helped accelerate our process of being able to get it in really just a matter of a few months. All right, so the next thing that we did, and I think I touched about it a little bit on there, after we defined what it was that we wanted, is we put it on our legacy board. So we have another video on our channel that's all about how to go out there and build a legacy board for yourself, which is basically our visualization exercise that helps us go out there and manifest anything and everything that it is that we want over the next year. So it's a process of going out there and basically building out the goals that you have over the next year and walking toward getting them every single day. There's a video up here that you can go and watch that basically walks you through exactly how to build that legacy board. But the next step that we did was we put it on our legacy board. This was very, very important because by putting it on our legacy board, right, it kind of began the process of making this real. We said it out loud, and then we wrote it down on a piece of paper. And every single day I'd wake up and that piece of paper, right, that legacy board that had this written down on it stared me in the face. I also had a little bit of extra motivation because 4 or 5 times a day, Chad would take me in there when I would change him into his room, and he would point and scream at the mountains on the wall. So I had that both, right? But ultimately, like, getting up in the morning and having it on the legacy board that was literally staring me at in the face reminded me constantly throughout the day, and typically kept that thought in my head. I need to be working on this. I need to be doing the next step. I need to be, making sure that I reach the goal. So it was very, very important that we not only put it on the legacy board, but here's a secret about putting it on the legacy board. We also put a date next to it that we wanted to achieve it. I think a lot of people, they'll write it down. They might even do some sort of legacy board or some sort of board or something they write down and they keep track of all their goals. But do they actually put a date on when they want to achieve it? And I think for a lot of people, when it comes to the measurement piece, this is a great way that you can measure your progress, is by ultimately putting a date that you believe that you want to achieve this thing, or that you believe that you can achieve this thing. And I remember when we sat down and we said, we want this to happen by this date. At the beginning, it was like, I have no idea how this is going to happen. But at the end point of just saying, I'm going to put it on this date, it actually put into motion, right, actions that I knew that I was going to need to take, whether it was just taking my attention, putting my time toward it, or ultimately, right, just going and making sure that I had all my ducks in a row, because I knew that it was going to take a lot of steps and a lot of things that I was going to need to get right to be able to make this happen. So ultimately, right, just putting it on our legacy board and adding a date really, really helped us accelerate being able to manifest and ultimately attract, use the law of attraction to attract this 92 acres that we live on that I'm sitting in right now. All right, so let's get to the spot where we made things happen. And it's very important, right, that I really, really emphasize in this segment here that this is a requirement when it comes to the law of attraction or manifesting anything that it is that you want. Yes, we can have a thought. Yes, we can make a goal, but if we don't take any action on toward that goal, it's not going to accidentally fall in our lap. So ultimately, what I want to make sure that we want to do here is to have activities that we can take action on. What we call this, the Life Coach Launch School, is actionable activities. We want to go out there and make sure that every single day we take action on items that we know we need to take action on to get one step closer toward that goal. Something we tell our students at the Life Coach Launch School is to aim at getting 1% better every single day towards your goal. Very rarely are we going to reach a big goal right through one simple win, through one day of going out there and doing things right. It's going to take consistency usually, and normally, in what we've found, it's going to take a lot of discipline. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we go out there and we are aiming at doing the small tasks each and every day that are going to help us become the person that we need to become, so that we can walk into the person that we need to be to reach that goal that we've then put on the legacy board. Some actionable activities that we did when it came to moving here. And looking back, it's interesting because it literally became almost an obsession, right? Like, not overly so, like it didn't affect my work or anything like that, but it became like my spare time. I'm gonna find time available, and in that time, I'm gonna do what I know I need to do. And even at the beginning, I didn't even know every step that I needed to take, but I immersed myself in this property. I remember we first very quickly decided we wanted to move to the Smoky Mountains. So we knew we were in eastern Tennessee. So I remember one of the first things that I started doing was like, where do you move in eastern Tennessee? So obviously I started looking at the places that I knew: Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville. After a couple of weeks looking there, I found out that probably wasn't going to be where we found it that we wanted. So I was able to eliminate that, right? And through just starting that simple process, that then led to, okay, let's find the specific type of property that we want. Let's put a specific search, right? Let's find a realtor. Let's find a mortgage broker. Like, let's go and visit properties. Let's see what it's like down there. Let's make a special trip to Tennessee so that we can see what it's like. Let's move closer to Tennessee, right, in the interim for a few months so that we can actually make this happen faster, right? Let's look at all of the specific options that are on the table. I really didn't know, but it was just some basic things that I knew I needed to do. And one of the biggest secrets that I found during this process was that as I would figure out little things at the very beginning, a new thing would emerge. Right? A new thing that I could chase would happen on this journey, something I didn't know at the beginning. And every single time that, right, I took action on what I saw in front of me, and I, achieved the little goals, the 1% better that happened every single day, I would see something bigger. I would see what I needed to do to get closer, and those things that I didn't know magically just started to appear. And I can't explain how that happens besides telling you that it's the universe showing us specifically what we need to do and who it is that we need to become by simply taking action on what it is that we want. It's magic, yes, but I can only explain it, and it can only be seen by taking action on the items that you want right now. And ultimately, right, I want to make sure that it's very important that we understand that this wasn't just a, go out there and everything happened perfect. We had a lot of speed bumps along the way when it came to finding realtors, when it came to finding the land. We thought we had found something else that was a couple of hours away, and literally within just a matter of maybe a month from moving in, it fell apart. So ultimately, there were a lot of things that happened along the way, and how did we make sure to even end up here? Well, one of the things that I think is very important is to understand that no matter what it is that we're working on, the world and the universe is working for us. Yes, something might not work out, but it means it's not supposed to work out, or it's not supposed to work out at that time. We really did find the place that we were supposed to be. And even though about a month before finding this place and really taking action on getting this place, we went through a massive heartbreak and thinking we had found the place that we were going to move to, and literally have it fall right in front of us, and really at what we believe was no fault of our own. Things are going to happen, right? But ultimately, again, things are going to be happening for us. All right, so to summarize all this stuff up, we can look at, looking back and in hindsight, all of the different things that we did, right? It really boils down into a simple process. Obviously, we had to understand no matter what it is that we want to attract to us, we want to, take action on the law of attraction, or we want to manifest something in our life, we obviously first have to have a thought. After we have that thought, we then need to add measurement to that thought, right? What is that thought? What is it? Like, add measurement to it, define it. What is it specifically that it is that we want to achieve, or that it is that we want to happen? After that, we definitely need to take actionable activities, right? We need to take action on what it is that we want. Step into it every day. Now, obviously, we can make a plan. We can do a visualization exercise. You can do something like the legacy board. There's a lot of things that we can do to do this, but ultimately, the most important thing is that we take action on that, and we do it every single day. By doing that, we're going to build confidence, and ultimately, we're going to help accelerate and build momentum toward the goal that we want to achieve. And in our instance, and in helping us move here to this 92-acre ranch here in East Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains, literally backed up right to the Smoky Mountain National Park, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, I would say that yes, staring at this every day, thinking about it every day, working on it every day will help build momentum. And yes, it can happen a lot faster than you can ever imagine, just like it happened here for us on this 92-acre ranch here in the Smoky Mountains. If you like this video, make sure to go down there and subscribe to this channel, the Life Coach Launch School. This channel is all about helping people start their self-healing so they can go out there and create more of an infinite impact in the world. And if that's you, make sure to go down there and subscribe to this channel. Are you someone who's been dying to start a self-healing journey but don't really know how? Well, down here below in the description, I have what we call our 7-day nervous system reset. This 7-day nervous system reset is 7 quick exercises that we can do every single day that is going to help us take away the stress, take away the overwhelm, and ultimately get started on going out there and manifesting everything that it is that we want. It's absolutely free, and you can grab it down there in the description right now, and it's called the 7-day nervous system reset. Don't forget, let's dare to heal so we can dare to lead and ultimately dare to make an impact. We'll see you in the next video.